Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here, and it's time for more heavy metal on vinyl. I've been buying a lot of vinyl box sets lately. I actually just covered the Skid Row one not too long ago. And of course, today I'm going back to one of the bands widely revered as the originators of heavy metal, Black Sabbath. Their seventh album with the classic Ozzy Osbourne-fronted lineup was Technical Ecstasy, often maligned by fans, but surprisingly, they've actually elected to give this album the deluxe treatment that it deserves as a box set. The ultimate Black Sabbath package, 5 LP Technical Ecstasy Super Deluxe Edition, featuring original album newly remastered, 2 LPs of new mixes and alternate versions, mixed by Steven Wilson, 2 LP live concert recording, from the 1976-77 World Tour, replica 1976-77 World Tour concert book, 40-page book with photos, artwork, and liner notes, color poster. I may be in the minority here, but I actually love this album. In fact, I would go so far as to say this is actually my favorite of the Ozzy Osbourne era studio records with Black Sabbath. I know I'm probably going to take some flack in the comments section for that, but kill me. That's how I feel. I'm going to do an unboxing of this box set, which consists of 5 LPs, and then share my opinion on the release. Here's the close-up of the cover. I still, to this day, don't think anyone quite knows what's going on here with these robots on the escalator. Maybe it's better that we don't know. Side of the box. Here's the bottom with the copyright info. Top is just plain white. Other side's pretty much the same. Here's the back, which has photos of the band members that were used in the tour program. Black Sabbath Technical Ecstasy Super Deluxe. We go through here and it describes the 5 discs. Disc 1 is the original album remastered for 2021. Disc 2 is a new mix of the album. Disc 3 is outtakes. And discs 4 and 5 are a live world tour Technical Ecstasy performance. It's always great to get live concert footage. The original album consists of the following tracks: Backstreet Kids, You Won't Change Me, It's Alright, Gypsy, All Moving Parts Stand Still, Rock and Roll Doctor, She's Gone, Dirty Women. There's a lot of songs on this album that I love. She's Gone is actually a melancholy ballad that's reminiscent of what would eventually become Revelation Mother Earth on Ozzy's first solo album. Backstreet Kids, Rock and Roll Doctor, Fantastic Rockers. You Won't Change Me is a slower track, but actually very atmospheric and underrated. Gypsy and Dirty Women, 2 very underrated tracks as well. And we even get Bill Ward on lead vocals on It's Alright, which he does a surprisingly good job of. He'd also sing a song on the follow-up album, Never Say Die. But for now, why don't we crack this box set open and see what we get in here. One of my first complaints is you actually have to lift this part open to open the box. Most vinyl boxes I get are opened on the side, which I think is actually a lot more convenient and makes more sense. And then even once you open this up, I mean, you kind of have to tip the box over to get everything out. A lot of stuff like this will usually have like a little ribbon you can pull to lift the stuff, and sadly, this doesn't have that. So I'll go through the contents. I'm going to show off the stuff other than the records first. I put the hype sticker from the original shrink wrap at the bottom of the box there. This is the back of the box with the barcodes and so forth on it. They printed this on the box itself, but without the barcodes, I guess just to be more aesthetically pleasing, so I do appreciate that they did that. Right here we actually have a reprint of the original tour program. I mean, that's pretty cool right there. Like, you go through here, you got these really bizarre looking photos of the band. I think any photo of Ozzy Osbourne is going to be bizarre to some extent. And quite a bit of interesting info in here. Back here you've even got a replica of the original order form for Black Sabbath memorabilia. How cool is that? There's some pretty cool photos right there. And this is talking about the keyboardist here, Gerald Woodruff. So I'm glad that they actually gave him some attention. Usually people just ignore it and think about the 4 guys. On this page you can have some cartoons. I'm not going to go through every single page in here, but there is some interesting stuff. Got a breakdown of the equipment that the band used on the tour. Then here's the inner back cover with the devil logo and sort of a continuation of the what's going on with the cover art. Right here we have a reprint of a poster promoting the album. This is very cool right here. Black Sabbath give you Technical Ecstasy. And I am going to try to find a frame for this so I can hang it on the wall. I love it when they give us stuff like this. Of course, the real pride and joy as far as the non-music parts go is this hardbound book here, which has some very interesting content in it as well. Here's like an intro to the album. As usual, I'm not going to go through and show off every page, but like here's some early promos and newspaper clippings about the album. Photos of some early singles. Yeah, look at some foreign releases. Even a newspaper clipping about Ozzy quitting the band, which he did temporarily between their 7th and 8th albums, respectively. Here's some labels from the original 45s that came out around the time the album came out. Here's a cool photo of the band together around that era. So now let's take a look at what we get on the discs that are in this set. Disc 1, of course, is the original 1976 LP, remastered for 2021. Got the track list right there for side 1, track list for side 2. And I pulled a record out here, and it's got that old school Warner label on there, which looks very nice, as well as a reprint of the original like liner notes and lyrics. Disc 2 is a new mix version of the album. Got this reversed color cover art, which I think looks pretty cool. And then you open this up, pull this out, it pretty much looks the same. I'm not going to show off all the other actual records because they pretty much have the same old school Warner label on there. It does look pretty cool though. This disc, I wouldn't say that the two mixes, the original and the new one, are like massively different from one another. I would say this one maybe has a little more punch to it and a little more energy in some sections. Again, I'm not like one of those super audiophile types who can really go in depth on the differences in the mixes, but this new mix actually sounds very good, and I would give this a chance if I were you. Disc 3 is outtakes and alternative mixes. So for the tracks on here, you have Backstreet Kids, You Won't Change Me, Gypsy, All Moving Parts Stand Still. And on the next side, you have Rock and Roll Doctor, an outtake version of She's Gone, Dirty Women, and an instrumental mix of She's Gone. And these were remixed by Steven Wilson. I don't know who he is, but he does a good job on here. And it's really cool to listen to these and get slightly different sounding versions, like hearing Rock and Roll Doctor with a different vocal track, because that's probably the song I've listened to the most on this record, is something of a revelation. Although it's probably better that they went with the final version they used on the album. And discs 4 and 5 are the Technical Ecstasy Live World Tour 1976 to 77 in support of the album. When you get vintage live stuff like this, that's always very cool. Capturing the band on stage around the time that the record came out and they were touring in support of it. And you got these really bizarre photos inside here like we saw on the tour program. I mean, I'm not totally sure what they were going for with these. I mean, hell, that face right there looks like Tetris blocks. But again, very happy to get this live content. Track list for the live disc. First side, Symptom of the Universe, War Pigs, Gypsy. Second side, Black Sabbath, the song. All Moving Parts Stand Still. The next side, Dirty Women, drum solo, guitar solo. And the final side of the 4, Electric Funeral, Snowblind, Children of the Grey. Technical Ecstasy, I think, has always been a very misunderstood Black Sabbath album. It is my favorite from the Ozzy era, and I do like that they did experiment a little musically and didn't just keep doing the same stuff. Some people would argue that the risk they took didn't pay off, but for this fan, it created a very classic, very solid album. I actually prefer this album over Never Say Die, which came later, where it felt like the band was gasping for air, trying to come up with new ideas and experimenting musically maybe a little too much. I mean, this is a Black Sabbath record through and through, and I stand by my opinion that this is actually a very good record despite what some people have said about it over the years. And it's a fantastic deluxe release with a ton of content. I'm really glad I added this to my collection, and I think any Black Sabbath fans who have record players should definitely add this to their collections as well. Are you a fan of Black Sabbath, and where do you stand on the Technical Ecstasy record? Have you gotten this deluxe vinyl release yet? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.